Well, I think we're live. How about that?
Wow.
On time, and I think the sound works. But it's hard to say.
No.
What?
Does it not work? Or does it work?
It's working. See the that's the one that has to go up and down. The one all the way to the right.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to first off, this is our welcome back. If you're here for the second or third time, this is our third episode of Talking About Piercing. This one we're going to talk about fashion versus what works.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, and also we're going to answer any questions you have. If you have any questions about piercing, I don't know, just want to say hello, what have you, feel free to do so in the chat.
Feel free to ask. We love questions.
We love questions. And, okay, I just want to make sure that we're actually broadcasting and sound and everything, all that fun stuff that sometimes doesn't happen. So I had a pretty fun week. I did some interesting helix piercings and a few other things that were a lot of joy to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, let's see. You did a floating navel.
I did
one
do a
too.
floating navel. That was really fun.
Yeah. Did a septum today and a nostril.
I did a jewelry change for a nostril, but I also did an eyebrow.
Eyebrow. That was it. It was a redo. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Of. Yeah.
Yeah.
A guy took it out to clean it, put it in a container, and then somebody doing him a favor went ahead and threw it away.
Well, he went to go downsize because he didn't know if he was going to be able to get it downsized when it needed to be, so he just bought the jewelry ahead of time. And, yeah, I got it thrown away, so.
Which kind of sucks.
That does really suck.
Yeah.
I would
Nothing
not
sucks
like
more than losing a piercing. I think that's like one of those things, and you have to mourn it. It's like, and it turns into like a ghost thing.
And we talked about this
Kind of like a ghost limb.
Yeah, we talked about this last time we did the live streaming, is how tragic it is to lose a piercing.
Yes, it is. It's awful.
So
Awful. So, fashion versus what's going to work. I kind of was thinking about this last night.
Yeah.
Or early this morning. I had one of those nights where you go to bed and you fall asleep. And then you wake up about 3 hours before you're supposed to get up. And you can't get back to bed, and you just start thinking about stuff. And one of the things I was thinking about is this could kind of be divided up into two things. There is, with fashion, the first one being is the improper jewelry when it's initially pierced. And then there's piercings that are fashionable or driven by fashion that really aren't the best option.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think...
and we kind of I kind of got into it a little bit earlier.
Okay, yeah, and you did, and I was like, save this.
Put a bookmark in it.
Yeah, stop right there.
No, it makes me very excited to talk about it, just because I love talking about some of the
Nuance.
Yes.
Of piercing.
Yeah.
And we had an example of that today. For those who don't know, I don't do dermals and I don't do surface piercings. Mm-hmm. This is a decision that I made a very long time ago.
Yeah.
And my thinking behind it at that time and continues to be is if you want a piercing from me, you should be able to, if you want to, have that piercing for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to have it for the rest of your life, after a couple of weeks, you can take it out, or a couple of months, or a couple of years.
Yeah.
That you have control of your own body and what happens. Of course, the scar tissue will always be there. There's no way around that one. Mm-mm. But for the most part, it's something that can last.
Yeah.
When looking at experimental piercings and surface piercings and dermals where it is semi-permanent, meaning that like an average lifetime, it varies from person to person. Everybody has different experiences of 7 to 10 years. That's just not something that interests me. Also, the fact that you can't control or change the jewelry or take it out when you feel like it, and it's going to be a whole ordeal to take that jewelry out. The same thing with surface piercings. The better they're done, the harder they are to get out.
Yeah.
So we had a client come in today. I was busy editing.
Yeah. I guess, do you want me to take over the
yeah,
story
you can take
aspect?
over the
Okay.
story of this wonderful experience you had earlier today.
Dark and stormy night. Had rained a little bit outside. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, we had someone come in. They didn't really call in, and doesn't really need to take place, like for someone to walk in. But they kind of walked in and they wanted a surface to surface, an anti eyebrow piercing. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, that's what you were talking about. At least that's what you pointed to.
Yeah, it was the right here. But this girl had like a dermal already. And so like when her friend was talking for her, I assumed she was talking about her dermal. But she was like, "Oh, I want a surface to surface piercing." And I kind of had explained that we don't do surface to surface piercings. I'm not trained in it. DaVo doesn't do them. I don't even think you're trained in how to properly do them.
I've played with them a long time ago, back before there was good jewelry.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain that, but didn't you said the condition of the dermal wasn't the best, so you thought that she was coming in to have it removed?
Because it was mainly her friend talking for her. She was kind of like just sitting there all quiet and stuff. And so the friend pointed to her own face, and her friend didn't have any dermals. And she was like, she was wanting a, and I thought she was trying to say that she wanted her dermal removed. And to be fair, we do remove dermals. And I was kind of getting excited because I've never seen DaVo remove a dermal before.
Because I don't do it that often.
He doesn't do it that often. And so
usually they go back to the person who's done it, or they have it redone, or they wait until it falls out on its own.
Yeah. And
or
so
they're in an emergency room or something like that.
Yeah. And so I was kind of excited, but that was not the case, alas. And she said that she wanted an anti-eyebrow on the other side. And I kind of explained to her, I went through the process of like, we don't do them because we, like what DaVo just basically said. I'm not gonna repeat what he said, but
you need to go to somebody that does lots of those, that has that expertise.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
For the same reason, if you have a high specialty car, like let's say you own a McLaren, you're not going to go to the Jiffy Lube on the corner to get anything done on it.
Yeah.
Because it takes a certain skill set in mechanics and tools and et cetera to do that.
Yeah, that we just, that a lot of places don't have. And she kind of had this attitude of like, oh, I'm not gonna, like, oh yeah, I'm totally listening. Like, like that, like, I'm not listening to you and I'm not retaining any of the information you're saying. And I went back after they left and
frustrated,
a little bit frustrated. And they also I don't want to like put too much heat on this person because I feel like
we're not really bitching about a client. We're bitching about, I want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah. But they kind of got a little bit indifferent about the price of asking about a different piercing, which probably would have been in the same price range for an anti-eyebrow.
Yeah, it's my experience. A lot of the most common time I have somebody come in and ask for an extreme piercing, like let's say an anti-eyebrow, surface-to-surface trachea. Let's see another good one. Ampling. That's a common one too.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a male genital piercing.
Okay.
Nape of the neck.
Oh yeah.
Third eye. That sort of stuff. Stuff that just, or the valley. Stuff that's just really not many people are going to request it, and it's not that common. Or snake eyes. Snake eyes is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, for sure.
When you look at them or ask them, they have absolutely no other piercings. They may have their earlobes done, but that's it. It's common with other piercings that I kind of try to steer people away from, like complicated heels, like industrials and et cetera. But it seems like the more extreme it is, the more likely they have no piercing experience at all. And it is driven by fashion. They are seeing people with that particular piercing on the internet, probably Instagram or wherever they get TikTok or wherever they get their feeds, or some celebrity has it. And they're just assuming that's a normal everyday piercing.
Yeah, like it's like the same thing as like a nostril or a septum, when it's really not, because you really have to think like, and it's something I feel like a lot of people don't take into consideration, is you have to think about the difference between the two, especially when it comes to like an anti-eyebrow or or a dermal itself. You have to think about how much space that it has to heal. Like when you were talking with me about my cheek piercings, about how it's a tunnel that has to heal.
Yeah.
Whereas like comparative to like with
because that's an ongoing debate, which is going to be a better success rate. Because I had an email or comment from somebody, I can't remember which, asking about whether or not they should get cheek dermals versus regular cheek piercings, and I was like, well, they both have their own issues.
Yeah.
Because dermals, you want, and surface-to-surface piercings, it's very important to have them in areas of the body that doesn't have a lot of movement, a lot of flex, and a lot of pull on it. And there's no way to have a cheek that doesn't do that unless you talk and eat with your mouth shut all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that rejection problem. That, and you may not know, how far down those saliva ducts are, so you can impact it either way, because that was the biggest concern she had. And then the swelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you're going to have one way or another, some degree.
I feel like there's no piercing where you're not going to experience at least any bit of swelling. And I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe there is a magical one, but...
Well, there's always going to be somebody out there that can do everything wrong and have no problem.
That's true.
That's
completely true.
They're hammerheads. They're like the people that go into a bar and start a fight with the biggest guy there and just seem to walk away without a scratch on them. Mm-hmm. While the whole place rips. Their big smile on their face and they're walking out the door while the whole thing's getting torn apart. But they weren't. They started it, but they aren't there. They're just that lucky people. Uneasy Dish sent us a chat and a +1 with this thingamajigger. Just wanted to say hi. I really enjoy the pod. Listening to you guys talk about piercings is such a nice way to wind down at the end of the day. It is our end of the day too, and it's kind of fun to do this. It's our end of the week. I work. I should say. I start on Thursday and end on Monday. My weekend is Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which are great for going out to dinner or seeing a movie because nobody's there.
Yeah. And I feel like as of recently, it's been my weekend too, ever since I've been...
since you got fired.
Over text. Oh.
From the zone.
From the zone, get in the zone, auto
you got de-zoned.
I got de-zoned.
But yeah, and you're still waiting for the other part-time job to start.
I've been kind of procrastinating that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah.
Teenagers.
I know, because I've been enjoying just coming into the shop, making my money, and then harassing you and Jess and Willow
and distracting me, so it takes me longer to edit.
Yeah. With my
I guess I could talk a little bit about what came out this week. For some reason, this is the week of oral piercings.
Yeah, it really
is.
And
oral piercing groupings. First off, on Thursday, I posted what I thought was a clear title.
I thought it was pretty clear, but we're also dyslexic. We both are. So
that, and it's just like it didn't occur to me that anybody would. I didn't have somebody to look at it because then I said it to Jess, our counter person, and she's like, "Of course they thought that," but it was making your home piercing safe. So it's supposed to be like making your home,
comma.
I didn't put a comma in. That's part of the problem. Piercing safe. So you're kind of like, making your house child-proof.
Yeah.
So it's making, maybe I should have put pierce-proof.
I
had numerous comments of people that commented underneath it going, I thought you were going to tell us how to pierce safely at home. And I'm like, have you watched any of my videos? I understand there's a need for that.
Yeah.
There's always places on the planet in situations where that's the only option you have. But most of us, if we live in a fairly civilized area of the world and have internet access, have access to at least someone who does professional piercing. It may not be the best option, but it's still there. And then you put your latest in the piercing journal or journeys.
My journal, my piercing
Your journal. You're journaling.
Yeah, about my my snake bites. And I touched on my labret piercing in that one, so I have to go on my labret piercing next, which I keep forgetting to bring in the jewelry so we can re-pierce it. Yeah,
we're going to re-pierce it. I don't know if I'm going to show any footage of that or not. It depends on how much of a hassle it is that day.
Yeah, but I don't know. I had a lot of fun talking about my...
Excuse me. Pardon my rudeness.
Oh, my.
I had an apple for lunch, so that tends to do it.
But I really enjoyed my... talking about it because I feel like it kind of gave a little bit of perspective on people who are kind of in between. Oh, should I get both of them done at once? Should I get only one done at once?
Snake bites.
Yeah. So I feel like that was really fun. I enjoy the series. It's a lot of
fun to kind of reminisce about your.
It's like reminiscing about your exes.
It's basically you're trauma dumping on the internet.
I am
dumping on all of our subscribers and viewers.
Well, they
about
like
your
me,
piercing
you know.
traumas.
They like me. They said they liked me.
One of the things that she didn't cover in that was the issue that one side was pierced with a ring and one side was pierced correctly.
Yeah,
me.
and I touched on it a little bit, but I didn't go more in depth about how that affected the healing process.
Because of how a ring sets, especially during the healing process, the piercing will heal more of an arch and less straight. So for me to have put it where the other one was at that point in time would have been way into that thicker tissue of the lip, and it probably would have caused issues. So
it probably would have.
I did do it slightly lower.
Yeah.
Plus, I was trying to balance out the unevenness of your cheek piercings at the time.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, that's another story in itself. And if you haven't checked out those videos, do. She's still learning. I am.
No,
we have fun going back through and editing them.
No,
actually,
I irritate myself because I keep going yeah, no.
And you don't really know you do that until you actually have filmed yourself and then go back and try to edit it and clean it up and tighten up all that nonsense.
Yeah.
And then I posted Saturday, I think.
No, it was yesterday.
No, I don't think I guess it was yesterday. I posted a video on snake bites versus spider bites, and then just a few hours ago I posted the 100th episode of season 2 of Pros and Cons by a Piercer. I'm winding down that series because I'm just running out of things I want to talk about or things that I feel like people do want to look at and or learn about. And they're very long videos, and they can take a long. How long was I was editing that thing for days today?
You edited it.
Edited it.
I know it was originally like 30 minutes.
It was over 30 minutes. It was like 38 or something.
Yeah, it was like almost 40 minutes. And then I
got it down to 33.
And then you took like 2 hours to edit it.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'm gonna basically, because unless people give me some new topics, because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, hey, have you done one on this?" It's like, "Yep."
You've done 3
because there's 2 series, 2 seasons. So I did it all the first time and then started over again. And I don't think I want to start a 3rd season where I just go through all of it again.
Yeah.
I think I'm just, banging my head against the wall and yelling at everybody while doing it.
Got to come up with a new series to start.
Well, I started 2 new series kind of in the last 6 months. The New to Piercing, which is replacing Body Piercing Basics because that was getting kind of diluted. And then the Piercing Battles, that's new. And so is Myths.
Yeah. I do like the Myths video. I think it's fun.
Those are fun because I can just go through and dig at stuff. And it's a lot of stuff that I've been frustrated for a long period of time.
You get to be a hater?
I don't know if it's hater, but I mean, a know-it-all maybe?
Oh, yes, that's exactly the word I was looking for.
Know-it-all. A know-it-all I can do. So back to the whole fashion versus, here's the thing is, a lot of times you'll tell these people exactly why they don't want to. Our policy if I have time, if somebody comes in the studio, especially, but even if I'm on the phone, I'll go, this is why I don't do it. This, and this. And they will immediately always ask, well, who does it?
Yeah, and it's like, you don't.
And I don't think they understand that doesn't mean you should go get it done. I just gave you all the reasons why you shouldn't. And yes, there are a small percentage of people on the planet that piercing may work with, which was probably the first 3 people it was taken of. Pictures were taken of. But the reality is it's probably not going to work for you. And you're not going to have a good experience. And it's not going to be fun.
Like the chosen one.
Yeah. Well, they've been... crowned chosen one of snake eye piercings.
Dubbed the chosen one.
Yeah, and okay, so, and the other thing is, and you get kind of the same thing with jewelry.
Yeah.
Because like when you're talking about that, what's going to work and not work with fashion, it's for some people it's very fashionable to wear, for example, a ring. Very, very tiny, itty-bitty ring, like the smallest ring you can possibly find.
Yeah, like a 22 gauge ring.
Or no, I'm talking diameter, like a 6 millimeter, a 1/4 inch ring in their nostril.
I thought you were talking about
to the point where it barely, it's so tight that it's snug, and they want to come in and get pierced with that. Well, that isn't going to work for a piercing.
Yeah, no.
It might, there might be somebody out there that can heal with that.
But not.
But the reality is you're probably going to have a lot of problems. The average person is. Another thing would be really complicated pieces of jewelry, like a lot of the threadless ends we have that have like a lot of sharp points and edges and things dangling off it and chains and so forth. They just aren't the best option initially. Something more simplistic is going to work better.
And especially since you're not used to having something there, like even if I were to get my other nostril pierced, I'd do something small, something tiny. Not tiny, but like something smaller and less likely to catch, because even though I'm used to having one of my nostrils pierced, I'm not used to having the other side pierced. And I mean, maybe there are some people that can heal with all the dangly gems and jewels and the big sharp pieces, but that's not a majority of people, because our instinct is to mess with something, especially if it's new. And also, on top of that, it's our body trying to be like, hey, I don't want this here. This is a piece of metal that is in my way from healing. Take it out.
Yes, that's not part of my genetic code.
Yeah. And
You're trying to trick me, I can tell.
And so that's why your body makes your piercings itchy, or it makes it tender and gets all mad and inflamed and red, because it's your body being like, this isn't supposed to be here. I don't want this here. Get it out. I
once had somebody describe to me, like, symptoms of issues with piercings and et cetera as being that of the same ones that the way they described it was your body's a toddler. It doesn't know how to communicate with you without screaming or throwing a temper tantrum or et cetera. It's basically telling you something's wrong.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a little bit of that with any piercing, but usually that fades very quickly.
Oh, it does.
Like in about 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the tenderness to the touch, but.
And it's kind of a balancing act when you're a piercer, because let's face it, we work off of how much money we bring in.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm going to make a lot more off of that really fancy piece with the chains dangling off of it and the gem settings or the lab-grown diamonds and all this stuff flaring off of it. If I'm doing a flat, I'm going to make a lot more money off that than I'm going to get off of a single, titanium ball.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a balancing act.
Yeah, I just feel like it's important to not put those elaborate pieces in high traffic areas.
Yeah.
It's extremely important. Extremely important.
And if you do get a piece or get a piercing done with something like that, you have to be really diligent about isolating it with flats and things through cartilage where there can be migration because of the jewelry being too long. You need to downsize on a timely basis. You can't just leave that jewelry in there with that super heavy piece, which with titanium, that's really revolutionary. One of the reasons why we have these pieces and they work is because they're made of titanium, which is much lighter.
Yeah.
So you don't have as much pressure on it, but it's still there. You need to downsize is what I'm getting at, and do it on a correct period of time. Don't wait like 6 months to a year to do it.
No. Because then it's going to get out of alignment and it's going to get all mad at you. Because that's what your body does. It gets all mad and frustrated.
Hi, back, Jay in 720. Welcome back. We're doing well. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Hope you're doing amazing.
It's our Friday night, or at least mine. I'm going to do well, I got to go take the bike in tomorrow. Got a slow leak in the back tire. Go to itchy bike.
Itchy bike.
Yep.
Is the bike itchy?
No. And it's not even spelled that way. It's spelled like weird. That's why I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. That's how I hear it when they say that to me. So, and it's people that work there. The other thing of fashion that I thought about is, and somebody brought this up in episode 1, Maria Tosh.
Oh, yes. You were talking about that earlier, actually.
It was last summer, and I had a client come in, older lady, really nice designer purse, high heels on a Tuesday. Everything about her said, I have a lot of money and I like to spend it on myself. And she had gotten a whole ear done in New York. She was having all kinds of freaking problems. And the main reason why she was having problems is they did all her lobe piercings at that Maria Tosh angle, which is, it looks better if it's done instead of straight on with the ear, but at an angle so that the rings lay against the ear. She had bumps on every single one of those lobe piercings.
And it also probably
and that's
help.
fashion. It looks better that way kind of attitude than what we already know works and doesn't work. And they did them with rings on top of that.
And it probably doesn't help the fact that you said she had a whole ear done. It probably doesn't help that.
She had 4 piercings done, and I think she said 3 pieces of jewelry replaced. So that's a lot.
Oh wait, is Maria Tosh that lady that like pierces new piercings and also does like different pieces in existing piercings?
Yeah, she curates.
Oh,
and she tried to have that patent, and she's the one that patented different piercings and claimed that she invented them, and also wanted to trademark constellation piercings or curated ears. Like you could.
I think I know who you're talking about now.
Oh, okay.
I think once you said like the changing of the jewelry part, I was like, hold on a minute. I think I know exactly.
Yeah, when you walk in there, they have a consultant, from what I understand, just some of the experiences. Because I was curious, because this was new to me. And this kind of piercing boutique thing that started up about 2002, 2003. And she was one of the spearheads behind it. But basically, this person who sits at a counter goes through and customizes out your ear.
Okay.
So, and they pick out all the jewelry that they think is going to look best on your ear, and they custom make it.
Okay.
To fit your ear, the jewelry too.
How long does that take if they're custom making
They're not
jewelry?
custom making anything. They're just taking parts and putting them together.
Oh.
Then, after they've marked the piercing location and decided where they're going to be and what piercings you're going to get and everything else, then they send you back to somebody that's a professional piercer.
And do you get say in the piercings that you get done?
No. I guess you get some kind of input, but that's not the point. That's like having it. It'd be like if you bought a house,
okay,
and you hired a decorator. The decorator is going to take some cues from you, like I like beiges and pastels. I don't know, and I want this area to be very inviting, or I want it to be very formal. You know, they'll take some cues from me, but the reality is they're gonna provide all of the furnishings, all the paintings, what color the walls are, what lighting it has, everything. That's what they do.
I feel like that just takes the fun out of piercing, because like every piercing that I have, I feel like it's intentional, you know?
Yeah.
I got it because I liked the way it looked. And so to get a piercing based on a curated.
Well, and I've done this.
Yeah. I feel like
I don't push
for
the
me.
changing out of the, I try to push for it, but a lot of people won't go for it. Where like somebody will come in and go, what would you do with my ear? And I'll go, okay, well, I'd change this out and I'd change this out, and then do this piercing and this piercing, and then, you know, we'll map something out and kind of create a project. I've done that a number of times. I'm just still terrible at taking photos. After 30 years, I still don't take photos. Anyway, what I've found is people are okay with that new piercing because they're excited. They want to get a new piercing, but getting them to buy the additional jewelry is kind of a, if it's a 30, 70 being, no, I'll wait.
Yeah.
And I understand there's a lot of budget has a lot to do with that and other things, but you know, at the same time, it's kind of what it is. So the idea is that this person at this counter that's trained in curating is making all the decisions on placement, anatomy, everything else. And then this piercer is then following that lead, as I understand it. Do you see the problems here yet?
I do. I don't know. I just feel like body piercing should be a personal experience between you and your piercer, you know? Like,
but how many times have you watched me? The person comes in and like it happens mostly with ear piercings. They'll come in and they're wanting a helix piercing, and then they'll show me a photo of someone else's ear with that helix piercing. And then I will go through the process of not talking them out of the idea, but moving the jewelry to a different position or using different jewelry because what their ear is nothing.
Yeah, because they don't have the anatomy for it. And that's
well, even if they have the anatomy for it, it's not going to look as good as it does on that photo.
Yeah. Probably because of editing or because the fact that they don't have all the piercings.
They don't have a super flat ear.
Yeah.
So, for example, outer helix is not going to look as good on somebody that has a totally folded ear because it's going to be kind of hidden.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you eventually decide you want to wear rings in it because that'll bring a little bit more presentation to it and make it more noticeable. But they may have a perfect ridge that's going to look really cool if you did multiple helix piercings on.
Yeah.
And it's going to be unique to them because no one else. The idea is to get it to the point where they're taking that photo into another piercing studio going, I want this on my ear. And to do that, you kind of have to work outside the box. And I always say it's a collaborative effort, but it's also my job to kind of steer them in a direction that I think is going to look good.
Yeah. As a way to, I don't know, to spark some creativity and some joy.
Yes, exactly. Let's see here. At CK1353 said, so happy to come across you. Whoops, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, my
fix
goodness.
that.
We've gone away.
All right, we should be back on the stream here in a second. It all went dark. So happy I came across you. Watch DaVo's content. So informative. I'm in the process of switching all my jewelry, so great to hear you. Yeah, it's a process. I go through this occasionally. Yeah. I get I'll have an old. I always say this. Excuse me.
Lord.
I started smoking and I've started quitting smoking, so now everything's going to start coming up again. Mm. Anyway, and I noticed when I was watching the video the other day, I can tell when I have been smoking, when I haven't been smoking by how yellow the tips of my fingers are.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's something I have been noticing.
Yeah. So I can keep record of that way.
Keep yourself accountable.
Anyway, no, I'll go through phases where I'm just bored with what jewelry I have, or I'm thinking about, and just changing out the jewelry can totally change the look of how that ear or eyebrow or other part of the body looks. Mm-hmm. And it's like almost getting a new fresh piercing. It
is, especially, I don't know. I feel like I've changed my jewelry out a lot, and that's why I figured out I don't really like gem settings.
Yeah.
And I feel like you could definitely... I remember I was working with this one girl, and we changed all her jewelry out to be like silver and green. I thought that was really fun. I don't know if you remember her. That was super fun. But like, I feel like it gave her piercings like a new life and a new, like, just made it look completely different. And I think beforehand she had gotten a tragus piercing as well, and that really added to it. And I don't know.
Plus, there's nothing worse than you're putting in a high quality piece of jewelry, and right next to it is something she bought or they bought 5 of those for $5 in a pack somewhere.
Yeah, that's how.
And you can see how the finish isn't very good on it. The gem quality is plastic, and it's like a lot of times. There's been times where I was ready to take a photo because I was really proud of something I'd done, but there was a piercing right next to it that was either screwed up or had such crappy jewelry in it. It was like, other than putting a big giant arrow next to it, mine, and signing my name on it, I didn't do it or post it even if I did take the photo, because I was worried that people would think that the other stuff was mine too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of hard. I love it when people are like, I want to change all this out. Mm-hmm. And get a plan going for something that's fun.
Because it makes you feel so excited to be able to that they want to come to you to do something so fun and so collaborative, especially I love sitting there giving people suggestions of oh, well, what colors do you like? Oh, well, we could do a couple of these gems here, and then we could do either gold or silver theme along with it, and then a character setting to add just a little bit of funness to it.
Yeah. J and 720 post here. If I got a tongue piercing, mm-hmm. What would I do about my retainer? I dealt with braces for 3.5 years, so my teeth shifted overnight, meaning I couldn't just leave it out while the piercing heals. That's an interesting idea. The problem with it is that the the jewelry could in fact damage the retainer.
Yeah.
More than anything else. And usually whenever anybody's getting any like major dental work done or braces or straightening mainly, I generally suggest waiting until you're to the point where it's permanent. Like ideally, if I remember correctly, you stop growing teeth and your jaw's fixed. Was it 23 or 24?
I think it's 23.
So technically, it'd be best if you waited until then to get anything done as far as oral piercings, but we all know that isn't usually the case.
Yeah.
But at least waiting till there's some definite permanency to where that's positioned. And the reason being is that we don't want to put that tongue piercing in there and then have that teeth shift. And then suddenly what we thought was not going to have any contact with your teeth and gums suddenly is.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I have a friend who has his tongue pierced and he has false teeth in the front and a bridge and there's a plate on the top of his mouth. So every time he talks, you can hear that damn thing clicking. Mm-hmm. And that can be kind of annoying and he constantly has to repair it or replace it because it keeps breaking.
Yeah. Which friend is that?
Frank.
Frank.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any problems, especially in the healing process with actually, because the way I interpreted that, which might be completely different than what.
Okay, go ahead.
I thought they were trying to say like, how would it affect like putting the retainer in while it's healing.
And as I said, it'll probably damage it. It might also put pressure. The biggest time I would be concerned would be the first week or so when you have that longer barbell in there.
Yeah, and my thing, I was going to point out, like, if it might get caught on the, because it does tend to have, like, kind of a lip at the bottom from where it does cover the teeth, where that ball might get caught.
I guess it depends on the type of retainers.
That's true.
Because there are the ones that are, like, the full retainers on the top.
Yeah.
And then there's the kind that are just kind of they're more streamlined, I guess, or more revealing. Yeah.
And my thought process was mainly if they had, like, bottom retainers, that might get caught on the bottom. And that's the only input that I really had to get.
I would tell you that it would make probably the first week or so a little bit more complicated than it would be if you didn't have a retainer.
Yeah.
I know I've had clients heal it out, and I really wish I would have gotten maybe more feedback from them. We didn't see any additional real problems, but I did address the same thing as I was talking about, where you have to be concerned that those teeth are not going to be in the same spot. Mm. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
And we want you to have straight, beautiful teeth.
Yes, so that you can get mouth piercings and maybe ruin them, maybe not. Find out. Be
smart enough to know when it's time to go. Nope, don't need this anymore.
And that's what we're here for, is to tell you when.
Yes. Yes. As soon as you see any problems. As soon as those tongue piercings are just one of those piercings that you have to have the space in your mouth. Your tongue has to be long enough from the tendon forward, and there has to be that space on the bottom because everybody's mouth is shaped a little different. And even when you downsize, if it's not going to be short enough to avoid that contact all the time, it's going to cause problems. Mm-hmm. And you have to be aware of that, and you have to be due diligent about going, okay, my bottom gum hurts. I should probably take this jewelry out, or, gee, I remember when my gums were further down on my teeth, and that just happens to be the exact spot where that labrace stud is. Yeah, it's time to take the jewelry out. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and there's really, I'm guessing that you said you can't take the retainer out. Like the biggest problem with tongue piercing, usually the worst is the first 3 days.
Yeah.
You don't have yours done.
No, I was actually gonna bring that up. Was
the queen of oral piercings over here?
I've never had a tongue piercing. I was actually thinking about it for a long time. I was talking with you about it.
Yeah, I don't think I even looked at your anatomy.
You did look at my anatomy.
Okay,
I could. I was actually talking.
I don't know. She asks me stuff all the time, and I answer it, and then go on about my daily life.
I was talking with you about venom piercings because you just did a video about them, and I do not have the anatomy for those. but
rarely there's not many
do.
people out there that do.
Yeah. However, I don't know. I think it'd be a nice experience to have getting a tongue piercing, so I could relate to people more. Like we were talking about with like other types of piercings.
Yeah, I've always suggested, and I'll get to your question here in a second. With my piercers, I've always suggested that you should have a piercing in the area, at least one piercing in that area. And I kind of break it into, facial piercing, ear piercing, facial piercings, oral piercings, torso piercings, and genital piercings. However, I do know, as I said to her, is only if you feel comfortable with me doing it. If you don't, then do what my friend did when she wanted to get her, as she referred to, her puppy diagnosis done. It was a little strange for her to be in that situation with me, and I completely understand that. I'm not going to get mad about that. But she would say, I'm going to go have a one night piercing. But I think it's important so you understand what the other person is going through, even from the point of disrobing in front of below the belt. Disrobing in front of a complete stranger can be a kind of nerve-wracking experience with some people. That varies from person to person. It's just somebody walking around upstairs.
I thought so. I was like, I didn't think Jess was back. So.
Well, I'm going to have you run and check the front door real quick just to be safe, and I'll answer your question while she's doing that, Jay in 720. I guess I would have guessed it was plastic. It's probably a hard dental acrylic. It was in there somewhere. That shouldn't be an issue. It will deteriorate with that hard metal if it rubs against it constantly when you talk and eat and etc. The thing is, with hygiene, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I guess I should have read this. It's plastic. Would there be any hygiene issues? I clean it every night and stuff, but stuff builds up. It shouldn't be a hygiene issue. If you're really concerned about it, I would suggest rinsing with like an antiseptic mouthwash such as Biotine. For the most part, though, because you're cleaning it every night, that shouldn't be an issue. Mainly when we're worried about infections with tongues is you introducing a foreign pathogen into your mouth, and then it gets into the open wound, and then it causes an infection. And I don't think that would be the case here, because the only bacteria it should be coming in contact with is your own. And we all have kind of our own little cocktail of microorganisms that we've already built up a natural immunity to. So it shouldn't be an issue. She's back. Who was it? Jimmy?
Brent.
It was Brent.
But he scared me. He scared me real bad.
One of the tattoo artists stopped by.
Yeah, no, because I...
and it was unexpected.
I opened the door and it was just, I saw someone like messing around.
For those that are wondering, we're in the studio section of the and I keep saying I'm going to do a tour of the studio, or at least a minor one, and kind of go through some of the curiosities that is the home here of the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. The Axiom and the Skin Kitchen, or the Skin Kitchen and the Axiom, depending on who you ask. We've been around longer than Skin Kitchen, but yeah, we're like, we share space. But the location of this part, we built kind of in one room, is the furthest back from the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right across the hall from the piercing area.
Yeah.
My piercing office. I guess it's an office.
Not really.
Room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the front door is currently on the other side of the building. It's a very long building. Like, people often walk in and they go, "Oh, wow, it's bigger than I thought it was going to be."
It's like what's that thing in
the TARDIS?
Yeah. Yeah.
Small on the outside, bigger on the inside.
But no, I walked out there and I saw someone messing around and I was like, "Hello?" And it was Brent. He came popping out and he scared me so bad.
And that does remind me, we are going to start streaming. I don't know if it's going to be this Friday or it's going to be next Friday. It's kind of in the works.
I'm going to be Friday?
Yeah, I'm going to be at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, same as this one. But on Fridays, we're going to be sitting down with one of the tattoo artists each week and discussing what they have going on and picking some topics about tattooing to try to get the tattooing party, body piercing and tattooing, that we've been kind of lacking on because everybody's so damn busy. And if you have questions about that or would like to suggest some topics, feel free to leave a comment on this video or send me an email. Excuse me. Send me an email.
Yeah, no. For for the creative industry we're in, we're kind of uncreative at some
Well,
times.
we've been at this for 7 years, going on 8.
Mm-hmm.
You run out of things to talk about, you think, especially when you're talking to yourself a lot.
That's true.
I'm talking to a camera about the same thing I talked about. And it can be kind of, that's causes some of the burnout, I think, on a lot of people as they get kind of worn out in the creative. And then, or they start following every trend that's on there. Like, oh, I'm going to start doing reaction videos because everybody else is doing reaction videos. Yeah. Or, some nonsense.
I don't know. My favorite reaction YouTuber is probably going to be Rolly.
Rolly's awesome.
He's so animated. I love him.
Yes. The thing is he's one of those people that he would be entertaining regardless of what the subject matter would be.
Whatever he's talking about, I feel like he'd be so creative. People definitely watch him for his personality, but I love how educated he is on things. And
he said some things that I was like, nope, that's wrong. And I called him out on it in the comments. I hated his plastic jewelry.
Me too.
For the longest period of time.
Corrected himself on a lot of his mindsets when it does come to certain piercings. And I think that's just being educated. And it sometimes is... I applaud people whenever I meet them. And they don't pierce, but they are pierced in certain ways and they're more educated. It kind of feels like... you feel like a proud father. You're like, yes, you do know that. Good job,
yes, I've been educating
son.
people for a very long time for that reason. Because... And I'll say this over and over again. It's like I don't understand piercers that don't.
No, me neither.
Because the more knowledgeable my clientele are, the more knowledgeable the general public is, the easier my job is because I'm dealing with less problems, less issues, and the better results means more business.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation. Plus, I love being an ambassador, and A''ve always treated my studio like that, my website like that. It's like, hey, you're gonna spend money with me? That's great. I'd love that because I'm greedy and I'm a hustler. If you're giving, I'm taking. But at the same time, hey, I got a bunch of information I can tell you, and if you find that useful, that's great.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Because this is something I really love. So if I share that love with you and that passion, then you're gonna do that with someone else, right? I don't know. I come from Iowa. We've had this philosophy of. If you build it, they will come. Not to rip off that movie, but it really is kind of part of the Iowa experience, at least for me.
Yeah.
Because everybody always told me, no, that won't work here.
Yeah.
And I'd always go, why? Why not? Why the fuck not? Why won't it work here? And they'd give me some dumb, lame reason, and I'd go ahead and do it. And then if it failed, great. It failed. If it was successful, they'd pat me on the back and go, I was always there for you.
It seems to be working for you pretty well. Pretty well.
At times.
Oh, at times.
At times.
Oh.
No, I've applied this philosophy, and I can blame it on, it goes back to BMX and skateboarding, where when I was 15 years old, I just started, me and my cousin, who were both into BMX freestyling, trick bikes. Oh. We decided we wanted to start a street or a team, trick team, we used to call them back then. So I went out and I got the license for the business, registered it, everything. It was the Flying and Styling.
Oh, I like
team.
that.
And I just started calling venues. I called them all. Can we do a show there? I called the Iowa State Fair, and that's how that whole thing started. And ever since then, it was like when I got into punk rock, it's like, I want to put on a show. How do you do that? Well, you call up. And when I got into piercing and started a business piercing, it was kind of the same thing. The hardest part of doing anything and accomplishing anything in life is just starting.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of reasons not to.
Oh yeah, there's so many reasons you could think of for anything not to do it. Like people even do it, and I do it. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of being like, well, I could make dinner, but then I'd have to get up and I'd have to clean the dishes, and it's just so much easier to order out. And I feel like that philosophy can be applied to literally anything.
Oh yeah, especially when you're talking about things like starting, creative things, especially.
Yeah.
And anything that is off the beaten path. Mm-hmm. If it isn't a proven fact, then why would you do that?
Yeah.
And sometimes in life, you just have to go, why not?
Yeah.
And if you live more of your life like that, you'll have a fuller life. You'll experience things. Now, sometimes you'll experience bad things. Sometimes you'll end up in places you didn't want to be. But if it's something that you think you really desire, the first step is just doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like every time we've seen somebody with a very attractive person and the other person's not quite as attractive, conventionally maybe or otherwise, it's that little part of you going, why is that person with that person? The truth of the matter is they are probably the only person that ever came up to him and actually treated him like a human being and asked him out, while everybody else stood back and went, oh, I have no chance with that.
Yeah.
And that's it. Why not? Why not do it?
Yeah. I think I might have told you I started picking up bass again. It's been a year.
Yeah.
Which I think is crazy since I picked up the electric bass, and I picked it up recently, and I was like, wow, I don't know, I've been procrastinating.
Good night, Jay, in 720. Have a good rest. I checked my anatomy for my navel piercing. Okay, I'll just read it. Good night, guys. Thank you for all the help. What could I do at home to check the anatomy of a navel piercing? Standard, lower, floating. And is there such a thing as a floating lower navel? Technically, there's different. Every navel is shaped differently. The best anatomy for lower navels is if it's like a cylinder, like a cup, because you have that ridge all the way around. That doesn't mean that if you don't have that, it can't be done. It really depends on how loose the tissue is and how much pressure is on the area, and that's the lower one. As far as a floating one, yeah, it'd be possible.
Yeah. Definitely.
Actually, just a traditional one with a disc on the inside would be possible. Sometimes when we do top and bottom, we would do that anyway because there wasn't enough room for that extra end inside the navel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's totally possible. The biggest thing I always tell people is take your index finger, stick it in your navel, and then pull it out and smell it. And if it smells bad, you need to clean better.
Then
true. Put it back in, squeeze down with your thumb. On the top, you should feel a loose bit of tissue, like a lobe. Now, if that's what we pierce through traditionally. Now, we do it one of two ways. We do it kind of crosswise with the more traditional, or what they call traditional now, with the curved barbell with the two gems on both sides, just slightly below that ridge. With floating, the things you want to look for is if that is deep inside your, if that isn't really heavily pronounced, or it's deeper where you're going to have to, for the angle to be correct, it would have to be further into your navel. And the biggest one, or one of the ones you can look at, is if you can watch or just pay attention when you sit down. If your navel collapses more, you definitely need to go with more a floating navel. Yeah. And unlike popular belief, it has nothing to do with your weight.
Absolutely nothing.
It has to do with the shape of your body, and everybody's different. So yeah, consider that. I hope that helps. It's kind of hard to see. I always have people send me emails or ask me questions about anatomy, and it's like, I need to see it firsthand. Yeah. It's the same thing sometimes with piercing problems. It's like, and for those that don't know, there's a really good group on Facebook. If you ever have an issue and you're not getting the right answers from your local piercer or whoever you go to for advice, called Ask a Professional Piercer. The only people that are allowed to apply to it, unlike a lot of places where you put something up and they're going to go, you did this wrong, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And, and you get all this weird advice coming from everywhere. They only have a select few of people that are allowed to actually diagnose what's going on and give you suggestions.
Yeah. And they're usually pretty kind about it. And
yes. And they're very straightforward about it. Derek Lowe, who started piercing about the same time I did. We haven't talked in a very long time, but I know who he is. I respect him. He's one of the main monitors there, but it's definitely someplace you can go if you need that kind of help. I'm not really good at looking at a photo and going, yep, that's what's going on. I can give you 5 or 6 different possibilities, but not always. I've also done video conferences with people. We did one just recently with somebody from Guam. which was interesting. That was having issues with a piercing, but nothing beats being able to sit there, look at it, and go, okay, that anatomy is going to work. Touch it, feel it, move it around.
Yeah.
Hands on.
Definitely. And it's harder to diagnose something over a picture because you could see one angle of it, but looking at another angle it could be a completely different thing, you know? And because the lighting might be different from, you know, different perspectives. And so it's hard to.
Okay, I believe it's Haji Hang. I believe that's how you pronounce your name. If I'm not doing it correctly, it's because I'm dyslexic, and I was diagnosed a long time ago. Anyway, they ask, hello, can you talk about cat flap piercings? I have a folded ear and want to do something unique. Most piercers know what this is, or is it just some internet trend? It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
The problem is, and the reason why it's rare is because not everybody has enough tissue there.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with these is when you stick something underneath there, sometimes they're more connected at the top. Mm-hmm. So even though it's folded, there's no room back there to put the piercing. It's the same way with hidden helixes. They can be kind of complicated for that reason because there's nowhere to put the jewelry. Like you think that it's just a flap like this, but the tissue's connected like this. So really there's not that much more of a ridge than there normally would be.
Yeah.
If there is a full ridge, then it's easiest to do it. You could technically go all the way through like a helix piercing, but that's going to be an extremely long piercing through cartilage that's going to take a very long time to heal. So yeah, it's new, and it's not something, it's really something you kind of want to do a little bit of research as somebody that's done a lot of ear work. Go in, have a consultation, talk to them about if they don't bring up these things or really like get in and dig into your anatomy. I don't know how else to say it.
Lord.
And touch it and feel it and stick things in it or whatever.
With clean hands.
With clean hands and gloves and everything else and clean objects.
And tools that are properly sterilized.
Yes, not just random stuff they picked up off the floor, toothpicks and etc.
Yeah.
Have them check it and determine. And I always say consultations are one of those things where you should be able to go into a piercing studio, set up, especially if they're one of those places that are very busy and need appointments. You should be able to set up an appointment for a consultation, talk to them, and not have to get pierced that day. Yeah. That's how that works. Most people, they come in and they don't even know they're getting a consultation. They're just wondering why it takes 30 minutes to do an ear piercing. It's because part of that's a consultation.
Oh, yeah.
And there have been people that set up appointments, and I'm like, we can't do this. Here's your $20 back or deposit back, whatever it was. Basically because it just wasn't feasible to do that piercing. So, but consultation, you can go in, talk to the person. You're planning out what your deal is anyway. But that's something I really would kind of visit a couple places and find somebody you're really comfortable with that really seems like they know what they're talking about. That, if you find any examples of it. However, you're going to probably not find a lot in real life, basically because it is that rare of a piercing, because not everybody has that anatomy.
Yeah.
I hope that answers that.
I feel like you did a very good job of answering it.
Okay.
And if they have any more questions, they'll ask you more.
You were talking about you're taking up bass again?
Yeah. I started playing the bass again.
And yeah, because we had that long discussion about what the hell is post-punk.
Yeah.
Is it post-punk, post-77 punk? Is it post-1960s punk?
Is it post don't know.
1985 hardcore punk? Yeah, it's
I still don't know.
Just in case everybody didn't know this, all those terms are marketing terms anyway, made up by the labels. Well,
I just wanted to do something fun and funky, and I got really excited. Yeah. And I immediately, the second that I heard post-punk, I thought, Janitor. What is that? What is that? What is that?
That isn't even really post-punk. That's like new wave.
Yeah.
Man, talk about Suburban Lawns.
Yes, Suburban Lawns. That song immediately just popped in my head. They did. They did a really good job of it.
Yes. Except her voice is just something special.
It's so unique.
And if you watch her, Susie Kleenex, or Susie Two Shoe, and it had something to do with Kleenex. she did it so deadpan, like she didn't want to be there and didn't care that she was there, that it just adds a whole nother level to it. It's a weird song to begin with because it has this weird chorus about genitals and janitors, and it's like the song's pretty much about they're at a party and she meets this guy, or the guy met a girl. I can't remember who wrote it. It might have been the guitarist.
Yeah.
But they meet and the guy, the person's telling him that they're a janitor, but they think they're saying genital.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like this weird chorus, and yeah, it's a thing. Go check it out.
It's a good song. It really is.
Dead Milk Band version's good, but I don't know.
I like the original better.
The original's better.
As much as I love the Dead Milk Band, the original's really good.
Yes, they are a weird band, Suburban Lawns, and she vanished. Nobody knows what happened to her. She was also in a movie.
Was she? Oh yes, you told me this.
I can't remember which one it is. It's like one of those John Hughes teen drama comedy movies from the 80s.
Like Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those or it's another one. It might have been like Who Married Peggy Sue or whatever. Nicolas Cage was in it, which doesn't say much because that's a lot of movies. A lot of rent payment, a lot of tax checks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're gonna start playing bass, and then it turned out to be what kind of band? This post-punk band.
It's kind of emo. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Another term that can mean 500 different things.
It's kind of like scrams, okay? I don't know if you know what scrams is.
No, I have no idea. That just sounds made up.
I don't want to talk about it with you anymore.
Believe it or not, I used to be a talent buyer and a promoter before that, and I have people call me up and give me these big, long descriptions of what these bands were, and I'd be going, nah, send me a demo. If I don't hear it, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're post-punk, hardcore, screamcore, core, this, that, indie. And then they'd send me a demo and it'd be like, I don't know, sounded like Duran Duran. It's like, why didn't you just say you sound like Duran Duran? I would have known that genre.
Because they're unique and they're different.
But they aren't.
They're unique and they're different.
They think they are.
I don't know. I jammed with...
You jammed.
I jammed. Jam band. Yeah, and that was really
Was
fun.
there a drum circle?
There was a drum circle.
Is somebody taking
we
up
surrounded the drummer.
You're going to take up the tambourine between songs?
No, I have the triangle. Actually.
The triangle. Oh, yeah.
I'm really skilled, guys. I promise.
I used to be in bands.
You were in one band.
I was in a bunch of bands that never made it out of the basement.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, everything from, there was incarnations that were like straight ahead, really terrible punk rock and hardcore. And then bands that were really aggressive, kind of more like a big black birthday party, pre-industrial kind of just
now you're
noise.
Just making up things. You're making up things.
Nope, I'm not.
You are.
Nope. So that's interesting. I mean, that's a fun part of creativity is you just get somewhere, and especially if you're doing collaborative, is you feed off, when it's good, you feed off each other and you create something you had no clue you were going to make.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what, that's the silly thing about genres, and we're going to sound like this. It's like, just get in a basement and do something that sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like people that come in for piercings I want something no one else has. Well, first off and foremost, if I pierce you, you will have something no one else has because no one else has your body or the piercing that's on it.
Yeah.
It's custom every single time.
That's true. Sometimes I mess up a piercing. No, I'm kidding.
On purpose, no.
I just really didn't vibe with them, so I messed it up. Messed it up. No.
No. I've had some people that were difficult to work with, but I've never purposely done that.
No. God, no.
I've had people that do things to their piercings afterwards that purposely mess them up.
That's got nothing to do with me, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 5-second rule. 5 seconds out the door, I can't really control anything else that's going on. Please take care of your piercing. Anyway. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about? Now that we're starting to go, because if we go out off on music, we'll be here for 3 hours and have like literally zeros of people listening to it.
I know my ride will be.
So I don't know. Maybe you guys find this interesting. I have I know a lot about music that no one wants to know about.
Yeah.
Lots of useless
Sit here,
information.
make up words.
My makeup words.
You make up words.
My obscure bands no one's heard of or cares about except the people that were in the band. And the 3 people that listen to them. Thank you, Internet. Anyway, you got anything else you want to talk about? Or
Not that I can think of.
should we wrap it up there, I think?
Yeah, I think so. I think the people have gotten enough of us.
Okay, we're going to continue to do these every Monday. Yeah, if it builds up an audience, it builds up an audience. I've noticed that we're getting more people viewing it afterwards. If you have a question or you have a comment on something we already talked about, please leave a comment.
Please.
Also, subscribe, hit that notification bell and all that fun stuff that everybody tells you to do. Like the video, what have you. And that helps the channel, but it also helps you by, you will remember at 8 o'clock because you get a notification like I do that, hey, they're going to be live in a bit.
Yeah.
You might want to check it out.
Sit in your bed,
you
get
can
all
ask,
cozy.
you can ask that burning question that you have.
Yes.
Otherwise, till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I think we're on this camera.
Fuck.
We both hope to see your piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Or good night. Sleep well, sleep long, and we'll see you in that next video.
Oh, I like completely like switched them around.
Yes. And see, it's weird when you look at that because that's delayed.